for us here. There it is.
There we go. Musical chairs here.
Musical chairs.
That's all right.
Yep, we have some breaking news.
Yes, and this was a very crazy case, really, and very sad, devastating for the pastor.
So we just found out Adam Sheafe, he is a confessed killer. He was accused of killing a New River pastor. His name is Bill Shoneman, and they just reached a plea deal in this case. So he agreed to plead guilty to 9 different counts, including first-degree murder, attempted first-degree murder, burglary, kidnapping, in exchange for life in prison.
Okay, and by the way, Kylie is a producer here, one of our amazing producers here at Fox, and you've been digging into the details because this is happening as we speak.
Yeah, so if you don't recall this case, like I mentioned, it was a New River pastor.
Yeah.
He was found dead in his home about a year ago, last April. He was put in a position to make him appear crucified. It was all part of this plan by Adam Sheafe. He was going to go around the country targeting different pastors.
And Josh Kolsrud is here as well, our legal eagle, as we like to call him. So we're so grateful that both of you guys came in to kind of share this. Josh, your thoughts and behind this case, of course, and it's pretty bizarre. It kind of shook the state, and I think a lot of people around the nation were talking about it as well.
The facts are extraordinary, number one. And number two, the other extraordinary thing about this case was the defendant's actions after he was caught. You know, usually when somebody is on death row, they fight for their life to live, right? But that isn't the case here. Mr. Sheafe sees himself as a martyr of his religion, and he wanted to plead guilty. He wanted to plead guilty to the crimes and to the aggravating factors to get the death penalty. But that's not how it works. So in Arizona and every other state, you can't just plead guilty to the death penalty, and the judge wouldn't allow him that control over the situation. So what they did was a compromise where he can plead guilty to the murder for life in prison. In exchange, the prosecution would take off the death penalty. So it's big news. Adam Sheafe is no longer facing the death penalty for the crucifixion of his victim, the planned murder of other victims as well.
And this is a video that we have. I know we did a jailhouse interview, and Kylie, you were mentioning that a family event in his life kind of changed his thoughts on the death penalty.
Yeah, so like we mentioned, he was asking for the death penalty, but then his father and stepmother died in a plane crash in Marana. I believe that was in April, because they were flying home from watching the U of A Wildcats in the Final Four.
Okay.
And they died on the runway. And so he submitted, like, this life event just like changed his mind about wanting the death penalty. The judge and the prosecution, they didn't go for it right away because they're like, we need to make sure his mental state is where it should be, because, you know, it's a life-altering event. Of course your mind is going to change how you see life. But at the end of the day, he did confess onto our cameras, onto
3 other stations,
to everyone's cameras, that he did this, he planned it. So, you know, he knew what his fate was, but I think that family event really changed his mind.
And Josh, does the victim's family have any say in what happens to the person who committed this crime?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know, Rachel Mitchell at the county attorney's office does a great job with victims' rights. And so in Arizona, we have something very unique that other states don't have, and that is a victim's Bill of Rights. It's part of Article 2 of our state constitution. And what it says is that a prosecutor has to engage with and get the input from victims on any major decision. So there's no way the county attorney's office would allow a plea offer like this unless it was presented to the victim's family and they received their input from this. And you know, I would tell you that from personal experience, that if the victim's next of kin family was adamant about the death penalty, I strongly believe that Maricopa County Attorney's Office would have gone with the death penalty. So I think that Mr. Sheafe owes a debt of gratitude to the next of kin's family here.
I think it was the details surrounding what happened to the victim that really was.
And he didn't know the victim, right? Or did
No,
he?
no. He did not know.
The pastor.
The pastor, yeah, he didn't know them personally. He was just kind of going around, and from our previous reports, he was targeting specific people. I think with all denominations, there was somebody he was targeting in the LDS church and a Catholic church, and
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Ted Kaczynski. And for those of you who don't remember, Ted Kaczynski was the letter bomber. He would send packages in the mail disguised as presents, and then an unknowing scientist would open it up, and it would explode and either injure or kill him. And so Ted Kaczynski would target people who he thought were, techies, people in the scientific community that were progressing society in a way that Ted Kaczynski didn't agree with. And it's kind of similar here, where you had a person who wants to be a serial killer have a list of victims with an ideology that he finds offensive. So he thought that the way that these pastors were preaching about Christianity was blasphemous, and that he was chosen by God. He was very self-righteous and felt like it was his duty to take them out.
And what happens from here? So, I mean, he's going to get sentenced to life, and then that's kind of a done deal. Do you think he's going to appeal anything like this, or is there even a possibility to do that?
So in Arizona, as opposed to federal courts, the prosecutors have all the power, meaning that you can stipulate to all of the terms and conditions of sentencing even before it gets to the judge's desk. So here, the judge is going to have no discretion.
Okay.
He's going to get life in prison no matter what. So it's just going to be a formality. And when you enter into a plea agreement, you give up the vast majority of your appellate rights. You can't file appeals challenging the evidence or the confessions or anything like that. There's only 3 ways you can challenge a plea agreement, and that is if there's ineffective assistance of counsel, that is the defense attorney made mistakes, there's prosecutorial misconduct, or there's what's called a manifest injustice, meaning that you received an illegal sentence. Receiving and actually getting a successful appeal in that situation is highly rare and almost never happens.
And also, he was representing himself in this.
Yes, that's
too,
right.
So,
Yeah, he was pro per.
Yeah.
Do we anticipate any statements made from him if he was representing himself moving forward, another court proceeding?
Yes. I have no doubt in my mind that this narcissistic individual at sentencing will pontificate and give us a sermon justifying, in his eyes, why he did what he did. I have no doubt.
Josh, and in your expertise, what are your thoughts on why he may have changed his mind?
Well, that's a good question, because his initial stance was that he wanted to die. And he was adamant about that, and I don't think anybody doubted that that was his intention. I don't think that he was playing chicken with the Maricopa County Attorney's Office, because it was already filed and granted as a death penalty case. And he could have had a change of mind. A lot of people on death row do. Things kind of become clear when you're isolated and you're facing death. And he had a moment of clarity, supposedly, when his mother and
his father and stepmother
died. And I think that was probably a turning point for him, where maybe he finally understood that living is worth fighting for.
And do we know what prison he'll go to? Is that?
Yeah, he'll likely stay in a maximum security prison here in Arizona. That's the policy of the Department of Corrections. However, it's based on availability. So if there's overcrowding in the prison, Arizona does have contracts with other states to send our prisoners to, like Oklahoma and Nebraska.
Okay.
Arizona does receive prisoners from other states too. There's a reason why we have a high Hawaiian population in the Department of Corrections, because we have a contract with Hawaii to accept their overpopulation.
All right. And Kylie, what's the plan for later today in terms of coverage on this story?
Right now, I'm sure we're going to be following up, trying to, look at those next steps. His sentencing is for August 14th. I'm sure we'll reach out to family. We've spoken to them in the past.
Yeah.
I know they've just been waiting for this day for for justice to be served at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'd be really interested to see and hear what their opinion is of the sentence in this case. If they have any inclination that they wanted the death penalty, I think that would be really important for the public to